The Supreme Court of India recently made a significant decision that has captured the attention of legal experts and the general public alike. This decision is seen as a landmark ruling in the history of the Indian judiciary. The court rejected a request to give high courts the same powers as the Supreme Court under Article 142. This article is a unique provision in the Indian Constitution that grants the Supreme Court extraordinary powers to ensure that complete justice is delivered in any case before it. This article gives the Supreme Court special powers to ensure justice is served. These powers include the ability to pass any order necessary to do complete justice, which can sometimes mean going beyond the letter of the law to uphold its spirit. The court's decision to keep this power exclusive is important for the Indian legal system. By maintaining this exclusivity, the Supreme Court ensures that it remains the ultimate arbiter of justice in the country, capable of addressing the most complex and significant legal issues. The plea, made by an NGO called Abhinav Bharat Congress, sparked a debate about the powers of different courts. The NGO argued that high courts should also have these special powers to address injustices more effectively at the regional level. The Supreme Court's decision clarified the unique role of Article 142 and its importance in the Indian Constitution. This article is seen as a cornerstone of the judiciary's ability to deliver justice that is not only fair but also equitable and comprehensive. This ruling has far-reaching implications for how justice is delivered in India. It reaffirms the Supreme Court's position as the highest authority in the judicial system, capable of making decisions that can shape the legal landscape of the entire nation. The debate it has sparked will likely continue, as stakeholders from various sectors weigh in on the balance of power within the Indian judiciary. Article 142 is a unique and powerful tool in the Indian Constitution. It stands out because it grants the Supreme Court of India extraordinary powers to ensure justice is served in its truest form. It gives the Supreme Court the authority to issue any order necessary to deliver complete justice. This means that the court can go beyond the usual constraints of the law to make sure that justice prevails. This power is not bound by typical legal procedures. In other words, the Supreme Court can take actions that might not be explicitly covered by existing laws if it believes that such actions are necessary to achieve a fair outcome. It allows the court to act beyond the limitations of existing laws to protect the fundamental rights of citizens and uphold the Constitution. This is particularly important in cases where the existing legal framework might fall short in addressing complex or unprecedented issues. The framers of the Constitution included Article 142 to address extraordinary situations where existing laws might be inadequate. They foresaw the need for a mechanism that could adapt to unforeseen challenges and ensure that justice is not compromised. It serves as a safeguard against injustice, ensuring that the Supreme Court can intervene when all other avenues have been exhausted. This means that even in the most challenging and complex cases, there is a final recourse to ensure that justice is done. This power is used sparingly and with great responsibility, reflecting the gravity of its application. The Supreme Court exercises this authority with utmost caution, recognizing the significant impact its decisions can have on the legal landscape and society as a whole. In essence, Article 142 embodies the spirit of justice and fairness that is at the heart of the Indian Constitution. It ensures that the highest court in the land has the necessary tools to uphold the principles of justice, even in the face of extraordinary challenges. The NGO Abhinav Bharat Congress argued that high courts should also have the powers granted by Article 142. They believed that this would make the justice system fairer, especially for people who cannot approach the Supreme Court. The NGO felt that empowering high courts with Article 142 would make justice more accessible. They argued that delays and complexities often hinder access to the Supreme Court. Granting similar powers to high courts, they contended, would speed up the delivery of justice and make it more equitable across the country. However, the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, saw the plea differently. The Supreme Court rejected the plea, stating that granting Article 142 powers to high courts would require a change to the Constitution itself. The court emphasized that its powers are derived from the Constitution and it cannot overstep the boundaries set by this document. The bench, consisting of Justices Abhay S. Oka and Ujjal Bhuyan, firmly stated that the court cannot simply grant a request that contradicts the Constitution. They emphasized that such a significant change requires a legislative process falling under the purview of Parliament. Section 5. The Judiciary's domain versus Parliament's prerogative. The Supreme Court's decision highlights the separation of powers between different branches of government. The judiciary, represented by the courts, interprets and applies the law. The legislature, represented by Parliament, makes the laws. The court's message was clear: amending the Constitution to grant high courts powers similar to those under Article 142 is not within the judiciary's scope. It is the role of Parliament to debate, draft, and enact such a change through the proper legislative process. This decision reinforces the balance of power within the Indian democracy. Section 6. Upholding judicial hierarchy. The Indian judicial system follows a hierarchical structure. The Supreme Court sits at the apex, followed by high courts at the state level and lower courts below them. This hierarchy ensures a system of appeals and a clear delineation of powers and responsibilities. This decision reaffirms the distinct roles of different courts within this structure. Article 142, being an exceptional power granted solely to the highest court, plays a crucial role in maintaining this hierarchy. The ruling ensures that the Supreme Court retains its position as the ultimate interpreter of the Constitution and the final arbiter of justice. Section 7. Implications and future directions. This ruling has significant implications for the future of the Indian judiciary. It sets a precedent for how the court will likely address similar requests related to Article 142. It underlines the importance of following the constitutional process for any proposed changes to the powers of different courts. The decision also encourages a broader conversation about the accessibility of justice in India. While the court firmly upheld the constitutional limitations on Article 142, it acknowledged the concerns about making justice more accessible to all. Section 8. A separate note. Article 142 in action. The Supreme Court's recent use of Article 142 in a case involving the Tamil Nadu government and Governor R.N. Ravi demonstrates the article's power and relevance. The court deemed the governor's delay in approving bills unconstitutional and used its authority under Article 142 to resolve the issue. This case sparked debate, with some criticizing the court's use of Article 142 and others defending it. This illustrates the ongoing discussion surrounding the scope and application of this unique constitutional provision. Section 9. Conclusion. A landmark ruling. The Supreme Court's decision to reject the plea for extending Article 142 powers to high courts is a landmark ruling. This decision has far-reaching implications for the Indian judiciary and the interpretation of constitutional powers. By maintaining the exclusivity of these powers within the Supreme Court, the ruling underscores the importance of a centralized judicial authority in upholding the Constitution. It reaffirms the exclusive nature of these powers and emphasizes the importance of constitutional adherence. The ruling sends a clear message about the boundaries of judicial authority and the need to respect the framework established by the Constitution. This decision is not just a legal formality, but a reinforcement of the principles that govern the Indian legal system. The decision sparks important conversations about the balance of power within the Indian government, highlighting the delicate interplay between different branches of government. Legal experts and scholars are now debating the implications of this ruling, considering how it affects the distribution of judicial powers and the potential for future legal reforms, the hierarchical structure of the judiciary, and how this structure supports the rule of law. The ruling reinforces the idea that the Supreme Court stands at the apex of the judicial hierarchy, ensuring that its decisions carry the weight of finality and authority and the ongoing pursuit of accessible and equitable justice for all citizens. This ruling is a reminder of the judiciary's role in safeguarding the rights of individuals and ensuring that justice is not only done, but seen to be done. It highlights the ongoing efforts to make the judicial process more transparent and fair for everyone. The debate surrounding Article 142 and its application is likely to continue. Legal scholars and practitioners will undoubtedly explore the nuances of this provision, examining its impact on the judiciary and its potential for future cases. This ongoing discourse is essential for the evolution of legal thought and practice in India. This ruling serves as a crucial reference point in navigating the complexities of this powerful constitutional provision and its role in shaping the Indian legal landscape. It will be studied and cited in future cases, providing a foundation for understanding the limits and possibilities of judicial power in India. The decision marks a significant moment in the ongoing journey towards a more robust and coherent legal system.